I lost track of what was going on over there.
Yeah, same. Talking about Jimmy, they're talking about
Oh,
Jimmy and
I think
Jessica.
reacting to how Chelsea was dragged through the mud.
Yeah, I think she's talking about how, she was judged in a harsh way of just like, because she was given a rough edit in the pods about how
Yeah.
she overreacted when he ended things with her. But since then, she has been so mature, and I think getting out of the
Mm-hmm.
pods and
Yeah.
seeing her daughter in the light kind of centered her back to who she really is.
Yeah.
And I think this is the proof of Sad Soul. We are watching the Love Is Blind reunion on Netflix. I think the fact that she is behaving so elegantly, and even before her big blow up, she was so
Yeah.
calm and just like, I want you to be sure and explore the connections, which is what I was saying earlier. You want to explore, it's okay to explore different connections because then it makes you completely sure about something,
Yeah.
which isn't something that Jeremy did. He kind of was, rushed into it, and maybe he just ran out of
Yeah.
time. That's fine, but he wasn't sure about it. I think it does feel more like a coin toss. Um, and yeah, and it's I once had an argument with a friend, which I was just like, am I in the wrong here? And really arguing. And anytime I talk about it, I go at it wanting to tell people that she was in the right because I really don't want to give her a bad reputation. And then people end up
Yeah.
saying, no, but you're both kind of in the wrong here, and you're both, and your behavior is understandable, blah blah blah. Don't worry about it. But
Yeah.
you don't want to mess people up for just the sake of messing people up.
Yeah. Or just defending yourself by throwing someone else under the bus.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And being self-aware of your own actions and behaviors and being able to say I was wrong. I think that's such a it's I mean, we like to respond out of ego, but I think being able to admit that you were wrong and
Mm.
point out what you did that was hurtful to another person is such a testament to how confident you are. Is that you're
Mm.
able to put someone else above you or to affirm someone else's feelings or
Yeah.
and to say I don't, I'm not going to be egotistical. I'm not going to try and win this argument and be the right person. And I like how Jessica expresses herself.
Mm.
She's like
Yeah.
not getting all worked. I mean, she's getting tearful and whatever because it's emotional, but she's not getting all worked up and arguing. Oh my god, I also want Reese's.
Michelle, elle dit, moi aussi je veux des Reese's.
Yeah, can I also have some?
You can have some when you come.
I will. Oh, I need to come at some point
Mm.
once they start flying again. My god. But I think, it's hard to, there's always three sides to every story: his side,
There
her
is.
side, and the truth. People see things differently. And, it really depends on, he walked out. He's the one that they walked out together.
So he's saying that she walked out 10 minutes after and they both walked out. So 8 minutes later, they come
Yeah.
back in.
I think they made her seem more hysterical than she was in their breakup because
You
then,
know,
you know,
you know why they did that? They made her seem hysterical because she's a beautiful woman, and it's easy to
yeah,
make a beautiful woman like she seem superficial.
yeah. Oh my God, that Megan Fox comparison. Never compare yourself to anyone. Never tell anyone what you think you look like. Just don't do it.
So, what are you doing with your
Mm-hmm.
hair? Right, interesting.
Who? Which one of us? What are you doing with your hair?
I don't know.
Maybe because
I
I always play with my hair. Is that it? Or
Oh, I don't know. I haven't noticed.
I always play with my
Tiff.
hair. It's like since I was a child, it's like my
Mm.
thing.
Oh, Tiffany had a baby, or is she pregnant right now?
I think she's pregnant.
Oh,
Woo!
it's not Tiffany, it's Bliss. Was it Tiffany? Oh, I don't
Bliss.
know. I'm
I
sorry, I'm
don't know.
confusing people.
Tiffany. Tiffany. No, wait, no, they just
Oh,
showed Tiffany and I think
maybe they're all having
my
babies.
God. Oh my God. This is so confusing.
Bliss.
Listen, Zach, maybe?
I mean, that definitely is Bliss and Zach. Maybe Tiffany was also pregnant at one point. I
No,
don't
I
know.
think they're just showing Tiffany without. I think whatever. It is very confusing.
Um,
And I said
Back
over
to the
there.
whole comparing yourself to a celebrity on the awful comment and
Yes.
things like that. I think if you, so I've been compared to that actress from Twilight. What's her name?
Oh,
Kristen
I
Stewart.
know who. Kristen
Yeah,
Stewart.
yeah. So I've been compared to her, and I've been compared vaguely to Liza Minnelli.
Hmm.
And I would never describe myself as looking like them. Like I
Yeah.
just don't think that I do. I just don't think that I look like them. But just one, I don't think we've got a similar face, but I think a fair way of saying, okay, I do. People have said I look like them, but
Yeah.
me, I'm slightly plumper than one of them, and maybe it's the dramatics of my attitude with the other. Like I would say, like, don't expect a skinny, short haired person. Like it's just I've got
Yeah.
brown hair and maybe I've just very white skin, and but I don't know. And I think a fair way, if she really didn't want him to think that she looked like Megan Fox, she would have said, I look like Megan Fox has, but plus size. And I think that would have
Yeah.
been a completely fair way of looking at it.
I think she shouldn't have said anything, especially in this,
Yeah,
experiment. The whole point is not knowing what you look like, and creating it's just creating an expectation that even if you add an asterisk to it, he's still gonna, hear that Megan Fox, and
yeah,
the rest is
yeah,
I don't know. I just think it's a mistake. But
yeah. It's a
but
show about falling in love without having any expectations about what you look like. And this is
mm-hmm.
just
Yeah,
it's silly. It's silly.
I know. I
No,
know.
Lex and Brennan
But
are expecting. We've talked about Alexa. I really don't like Alexa.
she's a type of person that you need to
I mean, it's that whole thing. We haven't heard anything about uh, Brittany and I don't know, Brittany and the black guy. The really religious guy. We haven't heard
oh,
about
they're
them.
sitting there. They're still
Yeah,
sitting
they're
there.
sitting
But
next to each
yeah,
other.
here they are. Look, Brittany and Kenneth.
Oh,
But in Hebrew we say you should have spoken for $1,000 like dollars. There's must be something in English that I'm forgetting now. Like when you say something and then a minute later it happens or something like that.
yeah. It's like we were feeling it.
Yeah, it's like that Chandler. Have you watch Friends? Where
I've
on the
watched
first
Friends.
episode is like, I just want to get married again, and then
And then
Rachel walks
Rachel walks
wedding
in.
dress, and I just won $1 million. And it's like,
I agree. The thing with sex before marriage.
mm-hmm.
So speaking it, sorry, mum, you're gonna hear something really intimate. Having
Yeah,
had a
this
lot
is
of
the
sex
time to log
before.
off if you don't want to hear
Go away, go
R-rated.
away.
Go away.
But
Yeah,
I've had sex with a certain just more than several men, let's say. So she says telling what you look like is one of the worst compliments to give. It mensonge. It means that you will not like who you really are. Yeah. So she means she's saying, if you saying that you look like someone, it's just a lie, and you're avoiding the actual
yeah,
truth about who you are. And I agree. That's a very that's a very good way of putting it. If you're just talking about your envelope, then you're not talking about who you are deep down.
yeah,
To come back to the having sex before marriage,
yeah. You're telling
it
us
is
about your
important.
sex life.
The
Nah.
whole, because we were also talking about this Christian couple that's not having sex before marriage, and
Mm-hmm.
she was saying, sex should
Yeah,
not be it should not be everything. And I agree.
yeah,
Of just sex should be something extra. It's important, but it shouldn't be the whole relationship, because you'll go through phases without
yeah,
having sex. Whether it's in your relationship or in life and things like that. And people who have sex every day with their partner, I mean, great, but it shouldn't be everything. And also, sex, just like working out, just like learning an instrument, you can make it better, but you can't
yeah.
make your personalities much better. Like,
No,
You know,
that's
you want to
true. It's a
work
good
on
way to
everything
put it.
else.
But although again,
um
also the physical part, if you don't have that physical chemistry, then you don't have it. There's certain people just that can't, no matter how much they try, they can't, have that physical chemistry. But you don't need to have sex to know that you have it. That's the difference,
yeah.
I think.
And you know, just like, you know, sometimes you can also have feel the tension build up just by talking. And, you know,
Yeah.
you must have had this, like, you know, you feel the tension building and building and building, and then you just, and so sex just has to be amazing, even though it's just missionary because it's been building
Yeah.
so much. So, you know,
Yeah.
I put the disclaimers of have
Don't put missionary down like that. I
yeah.
think it's the best. You can be covered and squished and hugged and held and not do the work. No, I'm joking.
I'm
It
glad
is
you're
the
the one
best.
that said that.
I think missionary is underrated, and it's a cliche for a reason.
Yeah, I think it's this, you know, you just described it in kissing and hugging and things like that, and it's amazing. I think the
Yeah.
problem with sometimes it's just laying there and doing nothing, the problem. You want to
Yeah.
interact with your man. Yep, thanks, mum, for reacting and laughing. Love it.
Hmm.
But yeah, sex, you know, you can always build on, and it's not the amount of people. And so this, you know, coming from somebody who's had sex with, you know, a certain amount of men, um I right now would think that, you know, that was a part of my life that just, you know, needed to happen. But right now, I don't think it's as important. I know, you know, sex is important, but you want to
Hmm.
build on everything else first. And I think that this type of behavior of just, you know, learning who you are is so healthy and so important, you know,
Yeah.
and sex should just be on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is a lot of people have a difficulty talking about these things, both with sex and with, personal things, or learning how to accept each other or grow together. And I think sex has just become this taboo thing that it overpowers everything else just because
Yeah,
of that.
yeah, sex is a weird, it's this weird thing with sex where you think it's
Yeah,
so important, yet it's taboo, and we don't really talk about it. Maybe we should have an episode of just talking about sex
we
and how
should.
our views on it, because personally my like view on sex has so evolved. um
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm
Yeah,
32, and first time I had sex I was like a month before I turned 18, and
same,
it's has so
similar.
evolved and changed,
Yeah,
and you want to, yeah,
these
it's
days they
just,
have sex at 12, apparently.
yeah, and that's so young.
It is. Ugh.
You know, it's just at the beginning of this episode,
Yeah. Wait,
Laura was more,
not to cut you off, but I don't get it. Are Kenneth and Brittany together or not?
I think they're dating.
Oh, okay, fun.
Yeah, I think they're dating
Okay.
because
What were you saying? Mm.
I was saying that um Laura was more offended about the fact that Jeremy touched her dog rather than had sex with her and then treated
Yeah.
her bad. It's just no, no, no. I think you've got that wrong. I think your priorities and hierarchy of what's sensitive are off there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think, you know,
Oh.
I don't regret anything about my sexual history, but
You learned from it.
exactly, exactly. But you know, if I were to, you know, talk to a younger version of myself, or you know, teenagers or something, it's just like you just want to wait for it and discover who the person is. And
Yeah.
thanks, sad soul. Good night. Thank you for following along. I'm wondering where you are in the
Good
world.
night. Yeah.
This is nearly over anyway. That we've got
Yeah, I think we have like
12
10
minutes
minutes
to
left.
go.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.